both sides at one meeting.
You know, when people play poker, sometimes their tell is a sniff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Or
My tell's a fart. He's got pocket aces.
he's got 4 aces. He's got a royal flush. All right. Good evening, everybody. This is the Big Hornies podcast. I am Bane, and I'm welcomed. I am joined by guest Jeff.
Thill. Thrill without the R.
And we are doing a segment every week where we introduce one Montana avid fly angler. And Jeff is our Montana fly angler of the week. And he is kind enough to bring over a little bit of Michter's toasted sour mash. Why don't you tell the crew a little bit about this?
We had a little bit of a blind tasting a few weeks ago, and this bourbon scored very highly with all the participants.
Right on. Do we know anything about it?
Sour mash just means that they take the mash from the distillery and they keep reusing it and create the next batch. So,
Big Hornies where? And then we have the Big Hornies big glass.
cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching.
So we kind of have a protocol here. We're going to ask you a few questions, and there you go. That'll be it. And then, so the first question we have is, as we get down into it, is where are you from, and who's your family?
I say I'm from Iowa, but I was born in Kansas City, Missouri. But moved to Iowa at a young age and graduated from high school in Iowa. Went to college in Kansas, and 2 years into the end of my sophomore year, my girlfriend at the time gave me an ultimatum. She said, next year I'm gonna move to Iowa City, Iowa, and start nursing school, and you can go with me or stay here. And I said, is this your way of proposing marriage? So we got engaged, and I finished college in 3 years, followed her to Iowa City. And while she was in nursing school, I went to medical school. We had our one and only child while I was in medical school and she was done with nursing. And 43 years later, still married, happily, in mixed company and people that don't know us. I say we've been married for 43 years, but it feels like 10 minutes.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
But then there's the pause, and then I say underwater. While all the women are saying, "Aw, isn't that sweet?" 10 minutes underwater. She hates that joke because she's heard it about 50 times.
She's like, that mother. And how did you start fishing?
So, grew up in rural Iowa, so there's some farm ponds, and you'd call the farmer and say, "Hey, can we fish in your pond, drown some worms, throw some bobbers out, get bullhead, bluegill, the occasional bass," and but didn't fish much in that was as a kid, but didn't fish much in high school or college. And when we finally moved to Florida, discovered the Mosquito Lagoon, which is a famous redfish fishery, and would probably go over there and throw gear with some guides a couple times a year and go offshore, hopefully not get sick. And then about 11 years ago, my wife and I were going to go to some ranch near Grand Junction, Colorado, and they had a pond for fly fishing. So I wanted to take a lesson so I wouldn't, look like a total idiot. So took a lesson with a gentleman who I'm still friends with today, and we've gone around the world fishing on some trips. And once we got there, both of us caught a rainbow trout. And the next year, one of my friends from Florida invited me to a lodge in Missoula and fished for 4 days and kind of got hooked then.
So you were a doctor. What kind of doctor were you?
I was a urologist and kidney transplant surgeon and am 1 year fully retired at this point.
And now you're just a
Just
Montana
a
fly fish
bum.
bum.
Just a bum. Yeah. You know, get up in the morning, have a coffee, watch the deer, watch the skunks, watch the bears come to the back porch. So, yeah, and try to fish as much as possible.
What would you think? Would you say is when you were in Florida? What was the best of it for you?
The best of it was once I started fly fishing in Montana, I was like, wait a minute. I live in one of the greatest states for fly fishing as far as bass. Every pond in Florida has a gator in it, but it also has bass and panfish. And then I figured out, oh, there's snook fisheries around. Oh, I can go tarpon fishing. Oh, I can do redfish. So did a lot of fly fishing in Everglades City area, in South Florida, Flamingo Bay, and actually a lot of fly fishing for peacock bass in Southeast Florida and in the Everglades canals. So it was a potpourri of fly fishing for various types of fish species.
So if you were fishing for peacock bass, and it's my understanding because I've only seen this on YouTube, um, there are canals that look like they either run behind houses or right along the street. I mean, do you just pull right over and?
Yes, you plus there's some large lakes, so you can fish for the peacock bass in the lakes, but the most productive is in the canals, in front of homes, in back of homes. Any place there's a PVC white pipe, there's going to be a peacock bass on that pipe. Anywhere there's a grocery cart that someone threw in the water, there's a peacock bass in there. And
Structure, is that what they call
they
it?
love structure, and they're not the easiest on the fly in the canals because there's so much live shad in the system, and most of the people that fish for them fish with live bait. But the Everglades canals in the west side of Florida, you do better with small streamers than you do with live bait. Go figure.
And what size, what weight rod would we be talking here?
For the best fight, usually 4 or 5 weight.
And how big approximately are they?
Um, 1 to 8 pounds probably averages 2 to 3.
Wow.
But I've had days in the Everglades Canal where we've netted over 300 peacock bass in a day.
Holy smokes. And how would you, what would be like your top three fish in that area?
Peacock bass number one, snook a close number two. They're an incredible take on a fly rod, and redfish. And yes, I've done the tarpon. Yes, I've landed 100-pound tarpon, and I've caught numerous tarpon in one day, baby tarpon, or even a number of 20 to 30 pounders. So I think I've got that out of my system.
Yeah.
So I'm not really a tarpon chaser anymore, but I do like chasing redfish, and I'll go to Louisiana for redfish or back to Florida for redfish if the itch arises.
What is it about peacock bass or snook that puts them ahead of tarpon, bonefish, that kind of thing?
Well, for peacock bass, they are a violent ambush predator. So they may miss your fly, but your fly will disappear in the swirl that they create when they miss it. And you have to do super fast retrieves usually, either pulling a popper very fast across the water or ripping a streamer as fast as you can. And sometimes double hand retrieve is the best for that. But they're there are days when they won't, in the lakes areas and the canals, they won't take a fly. They just want that live bait.
And what are those weird, like silvery fish you find in the lakes that are like,
Clown knife fish, or they're a feathered fish that used to, they were in aquariums. They were this big. Someone let them out, and now they grow to 11 pounds. And those are incredibly difficult on a fly. If you want to try and catch one on the fly, you have to commit the entire day to white streamers, sink tip, slow retrieve, because usually the way they take live bait is they kill the live bait and throw it down on the bottom and wait for the clown knife fish to pick it up.
so they're a bottom feeder ish.
Yes, yeah, smallmouth, yeah.
Interesting. And what have been some of the more, what has brought you to Montana, and what has sparked your interest up here?
Well, we arrived in Montana pre-COVID and pre-Yellowstone on TV, so
Cred.
we have some cred. I've been charged by a black bear on my property. That gives me some Montana cred.
Yeah.
And
Charged by a skunk.
yeah. And I've trapped numerous Columbia ground squirrels on my property.
Okay.
And relocate them, live trapping. So 10 years ago when I came to Montana, decided to come back every year. And then one of my friends has had property here for a while, and he said he wanted to retire here. So we started looking for property. And I figured if he wants to retire here, I've got a fishing buddy. But as it turns out, I don't need just one buddy, because I've met so many people here. I mean, virtually everyone here seems to be a fly fisherman. And it's like, hey, do you want to go walk wade? Hey, do you want to go, share a drift boat? Hey, do you want to go share a guide? Do you want to do this, that? So I enjoy the fly fishing community here. They're not as secretive as they are in Florida, and they're not as cutthroat, pun intended. In Florida, they avoid hot spotting at all costs.
Yeah.
They'll smear the background on the Instagram photos, and there's a lot of shaming on Instagram. Keyboard warriors, guides against guides.
Sure.
And I'm sure you can find that in Montana, but it's not as prevalent as, say, Florida.
Do you think it's because you have so many guides on such a small area, like in Florida, like say just Florida Bay?
Well, I guess you could say the same. Like recently, someone told me, because I've said, a lot of the fishing guides around here will, give you some intel. And then someone said, well, that's because there's not really that many secrets around here.
Yeah.
Like everybody knows this run, this creek, that river. It's just a matter of, do you want to go there that day?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be lucky enough to be the only one there? And if there, is someone, it's usually not a problem. Just stay out of their way. No low holing.
So do you have I guess the one thing I wanted to ask you before we get away from Florida was how many starfish did you have to see before you could
You're more likely to see those in the warmer months when there's a T-back bikini hatch.
Any like confrontations down in Florida?
I've been witness to many confrontations in Florida, and it was usually like snook fishing or tarpon fishing. Snook fishing where, let's say the person I was with, they felt they would come up on a boat and they say, that guy's in the wrong place. And they would go in the right place, which to me was way too close, and they would get into it. No fisticuffs, but a lot of people don't understand the navigable waters regulations.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you buy a house on a navigable waterway, you cannot go out and give the people fishing a hard time because it's legal to fish. You'll get a lot of this, hey, quit fishing under my dock. Hey, this is private property. Well, the water isn't. And I know a guide who had a gun pulled on him in one of the canals in South Florida by a property owner who thought that he was trespassing.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the guy got arrested and had to go to anger management. Not the guide, but the
Right.
homeowner who pulled the gun. But, those non-fish people that buy real estate in Florida don't understand the law.
Sure. And moving right along with our questions, since this is kind of our first go round out. So when you're not fishing, what is something that you like to do?
When I'm not fishing, I play pickleball about 5 times a week.
So you're just going to put that out there.
Yeah.
You're just going to be like, fuck them. Let them judge me. I don't give a shit.
Hey, I've got a, first place medal from a recent tournament, 32 teams. Me and my partner won it all. We're the Valley champs.
The 70 and over, 5 foot and under.
Yeah, it's funny. One of my pickleball friends the other day said, "Did you know Jeff's 75 years old?" Like, I'm not 75.
And so if you're, what do you think you fish? 60 days a year, 100 days a year?
Well, my wife and my granddaughters and a lot of my friends are like, "Oh, he fishes all the time." And I actually did count, a couple years ago, and it was actually under 60. Now, I might be thinking about fishing 365 days a year.
Yeah.
Or always, when's the next trip? Watch a YouTube video someplace. I have a fairly extensive bucket list. But as far as, getting out there, like this winter, I fished a lot more during this winter than I thought I ever would in Montana.
Yeah.
That's because we had a warm winter. People say this winter didn't count. But if it's over 40 degrees, you can go fishing in Montana.
What's the next thing on your bucket list?
Well, the next thing, if you mean what am I doing that was on my bucket list?
Yeah, what's your next trip?
So my next trip, in 2 days, I'm going to a lodge in northern Saskatchewan for monster pike and lake trout. They offer grayling, but when there's big hogs around, you don't want to waste time on grayling. But it's part of their grand slam of pike, lake trout, walleye, grayling. So, somebody from Pennsylvania might go up there and say, "Hey, I'm going to get a grayling and a walleye or whatever." So, but we're 5 of us are going up there for hogs.
Nice. And so, what do you? Are you taking 8 weights, 9 weights, 10 weights?
I'm taking 2 of my 10 weights.
2 of your 10 weights. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going for some serious fish.
I may be a little, overarmed.
Yeah.
But they're relatively new rods that I want to try out. A Douglas rod and a guideline rod. So it should be fun.
And what down the line, you were telling me that you have another trip coming up in the future. And what is that?
This September, it's been 2 years in the making. 8 of us are going to go to Mongolia and chase taimen and lennox trout. But obviously, we're there for taimen. And, just like there are huge brown trout, in rivers in Montana, I'm trying to just let my group know that, yes, there are huge taimen in Mongolia. Doesn't necessarily mean that everyone's going to catch one or it's going to be pulling in 50-inch taimen after another. In fact, I think the average taimen that most um, people catch are in the 36-inch range.
Mm-hmm.
And just like most people that catch brown trout in Montana, they're catching 14 to 16-inch browns, even though we all know there's 24-inch or bigger browns in the system.
Yeah.
So we're going to throw, you know, 9 and 10 weights for them, and I'm actually going to spay fish for them as well.
And will they take a fly on the dangle?
They will take a fly on the dangle. Traditionally, they usually like to fish. They usually like to mouse for them because they love chasing any type of mouse pattern that resembles a prairie dog, which is what they'll eat a prairie dog that falls into the river.
That big, like
That big,
size of a rat.
yeah. In fact, the outfitter we're going with, when he first went there 30 years ago with fly rods, all the locals were making fun of him because they're trying to catch these with fly rods. Meanwhile, the locals have these little 22 rifles. They're shooting prairie dogs, and then they're hooking them to treble hooks and chucking them with gear into the river.
Wow. Right on. Very cool. And so what are some of the things in Montana that have piqued your interest?
Just the, diversity of the fisheries. From, like, you took me to a creek, a small creek, ankle deep, that we had a good day on. We've been on some, rivers with walk wading. So the walk wading and, covering more water in the drift boats, nice. And there are certain rivers where you almost need a jet boat to do what you want.
Yeah.
If you want to chase pike, or if you want to run upriver and float down.
Yeah.
So just the variety. And then there's smallmouth bass.
Yeah.
In some of the still waters.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'd rather fish for bass in still water bass or carp in still water or reservoirs than I would for trout.
You would rather fish for carp and bass in still waters
rather than throwing, doing chironomids on a slow retrieve for, a rainbow or whatever.
Trout in still water.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So if someone says, hey, let's go on a lake.
Yeah.
Or a reservoir, my first question would be, are there carp?
Yeah. Are you surprised by how many different species we hunt around here?
Well, I've finally figured that out. But I mean, my first year in Missoula, it's like, hey, we caught 5 species.
Yeah.
Or 6, one of which we won't mention because, it was a Senor Blanco. Or we had a couple hours of a whiteout.
Yeah.
That they weren't planning on.
Those are native fish.
I know that's the thing. They're native fish, and it means it's a great fishery if they're abundant.
Yeah.
And my philosophy would be, if I were a guide, especially if you're taking out young'uns, kids or whatever, is, drift that nymph deep so you get the kids, get the hookup.
Yeah.
Don't tell a kid like, oh, it's a whitefish.
Yeah. Oh, well, yuck. Yeah.
It's whitefish.
Yeah.
I've heard that so many times.
Yeah. And it's usually a non-native Montanan shit talking a native Montana fish.
Exactly.
Isn't that fucking?
That's rude.
That is some non-nationalistic hate on hate right there.
Yeah.
And I think the irony is lost that they're nymphing while they're doing it.
Exactly. Now, I mean, I've done a lot of nymphing. I've done a lot of dry fly. I'm kind of in a streamer and spay phase.
Mm-hmm.
And, if someone says, hey, this is a nymph day, I might say, perfect. Do you mind if I throw streamers too?
Yeah.
So.
And how do you, now that you've had a career, now you're retired, you're doing kind of living the American dream where you had a good career and then now you're retired and you're fishing a lot in Montana and traveling. How do you feel like do you feel any kind of like difference or say connection to the land versus maybe being in the big city?
Well, what I like about Montana is when I hear people complaining about the traffic in Montana,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking you have no idea. You have not driven down to South Florida, peacock bass fishing, and have 16 lanes, 8 lanes northbound, 8 lanes southbound, I-95 packed, crawling.
Yeah.
And when we've gone fishing, we've gone down Interstate 15 here towards the Missouri River, and on an interstate, you might have 4 cars in the opposite lane every 15 minutes.
Sure.
So when I moved to Florida in 1988, there were 11 million people. When I left Florida, there were 23 million people.
Oh,
They are going to pave over the entire state.
yeah.
And we felt it. And now where we live, it's quiet in the morning. At the time that we're recording, we are in the summer, but the last 2 mornings, it's been so pleasantly cool in our house that we've had a fireplace.
Yeah.
We've had a fire in the fireplace.
Yeah.
And we talked to our friends in Florida, and they're like, "It's Africa hot here." And I'm like, I'm sitting next to the fireplace, you know?
Well, tell me about your recent bear encounter. How did that all go down?
Well, I'm at the risk of being shamed for,
This is the internet.
Yeah.
This is fly fishing.
Yeah.
You came from Florida to Montana.
Right.
There will be Montanans shaming you on this, and there will be Floridans shaming you on this.
Okay.
Just speak.
I'm a bird. I'm a bird nerd.
Yeah.
So we have an abundance of birds on our property, and I put out feeders.
Mm-hmm.
However, actually during the winter, you can have them out all the time, but starting around mid-April, we would bring the feeders in at night because that's when you would think the bears are active. So my wife and I were actually down in Kalispell, and we actually had a roofer up on our roof working, and he texted me at 3:30 and said, "Hey, I'm done. I'm leaving." And we got home 10 minutes later, and we walk in the house, and we can see on the back porch there's this very large cinnamon bear pushing over the pole to bring the bird feeders to his reach. And he actually grabbed a feeder, and by that time I was outside shooing him, and he ran away with the bird feeder in his mouth. So I grabbed the
So was it like just pure sugar in there or something? Is that what's attracting him?
It was pure fat.
Pure fat.
Pure fat. So in my defense, it was during the day after someone had just been at the property.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went out with my bear spray and shooed him away, but noticed that he had a red tag in his ear. So what do? With my bear spray in one hand and my iPhone in my other, I look up Montana bear with red tag in ear.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a nuisance bear.
Oh.
That's been relocated. So a nuisance bear has been relocated to our area.
To the ritzy part of town?
Yeah, ritzy. So
he's moving on up.
So the goal was to blast him with bear spray so he wouldn't come back.
Yeah.
So I shoot him away, and he ran up over this berm and down this hill. So I went to see where he was, and
So you actually went outside.
I went out. This is a black bear, not a grizzly bear. I would never do it.
Yeah.
For a grizzly.
Yeah.
So I went up to the top of the berm and I found the suet feeder, and I looked, and he stood up on his hind feet, and as I picked up the bird feeder, he huffed and bluff charged.
Oh, wow.
So he guarding his food source.
Sure.
So I hit him, but for bear spray, you almost have to wait till they're 10 feet in front of you.
Yeah.
Everybody panics, including me. So he was about 20 feet. So when I deployed, he didn't really get it, but he ran away.
Yeah.
Well, he came back later that night. No, there weren't any feeders out, and I was able to sneak up, use we have a wooden wall on our back porch, and he was on one side, and I went on the other to get to about 3 feet from him, and got him good. He hasn't been back. I'm sure he will come back because he's a nuisance bear.
Yeah.
Now, there are some people who believe that you should have no bird feeders up at all, anytime during when bears are not hibernating.
Yes, I have a friend who may watch this who
be like screaming at the...
Yeah, she'll be like, that mother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's the one who traps the bears.
Yeah, and I figure I'm not going to turn this bear in because, I think they might euthanize it if I did that.
They might.
Because, who knows how many strikes he has.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I know that feeling. I wanted to take one step back but to Florida and ask you, and it doesn't necessarily have to be Florida. It could be Montana or somewhere else that you've traveled. Is there one fish? I mean, there could be many, but one fish that stands out that you remember that kind of haunts you?
Yes. But it's actually on the OP, the Olympic Peninsula, near Forks, steelhead fishing. So, I don't have any. The only two fish I lose sleep over is this Olympic Peninsula fish and an Argentine rainbow trout that broke off. I saw both of them, but there is kind of a Florida connection because the steelhead that I lost was about the size of a Florida dolphin. And it was,
those guys are pretty protective of their rivers as well, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it was one of these first day, first cast, and, this is a fly fishing trip, but the guide's like, we'll get to that. I want you to throw this center pin. I'm like, center pin? What the heck is that?
Yeah.
So now I know if you want to drift 300 yards past everyone else down the river, you center pin. So I threw the center pin, and he goes, not there. Throw it slightly upstream. Threw it upstream. Within seconds, the dolphin-sized steelhead was on and angry and just racing downstream. I can still see it to this day. So that...
How long was it on?
Probably 5 seconds. but it was a slow motion 5 seconds.
Sure.
And first cast, all that bad luck that, people have about, if you catch a great fish on first cast, just go home.
Yeah. Did it jump?
Oh my God. Yeah. Yes. So that gives me nightmares still, but you know what? I'm okay with that.
All right.
Yeah.
And then what happened in Argentina?
Argentina, we were fishing dry flies, and it was just a great eat. You see the eat, and you're on, and it's on its 15th cartwheel,
Mm-hmm.
and then ping, it just comes back like 12-pound motto, broken.
Yeah.
No pigtail, no blood knot breakage, And of course, you being a guide, well, who knows? Some guides will say, you did nothing wrong.
Sure.
That's what I was told.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I've fished with guides who would have said, maybe, man, you fucked that up.
Yeah. Well, it depends. I mean, are they, how much of their tip would depended on that fish, right?
Yeah. I mean, but
I mean, do you feel like you too much, not enough drag, a little bit like held onto it a little too tightly?
Well, I never really had control of him. I mean, he was just barreling downstream. I was into backing, and at that point, he's so far away from me.
Oh,
Am I
yeah.
going to land him anyway?
Sure. I mean, do you feel like was your guy just pushing as hard as he could to get down to that fish?
This is walk and wade.
Oh, well then.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to go swimming for it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're in a stationary position, that happens all the fucking time. All the time, big fish pop off because you can't move with the fish.
Exactly. Now, I've been in situations where I've sprinted down river, and it's worked, but
yeah. Do you remember when Brad Pitt goes in the drink and fucking
river runs through it?
Yeah, it goes through the little like waterfall and all that shit. You got Brad Pitt to that shit sometimes if it's your PB.
You got
to put your Marlboros in your hat.
My wife thinks I'm gonna die on some fishing trip, and she's gonna be so pissed. So when I wade, I don't walk out far enough where I get nervous.
Sure. I mean, was it big river, all that kind of stuff?
It was a big river, but I wasn't even up to my knees.
How big do you think the fish was? What's your estimate on that?
Oh, it was 26 at least.
Damn. So would that have been your PB, Brown?
No, that was a rainbow.
Oh,
So it was it would have been my personal best non-steelhead rainbow.
Yeah. Freshwater rainbow. Fresh. So fresh. All right. So how are you finding that how many of your like relationships in your life now revolve around angling?
That's an interesting question because I've thought about this, and before I got into pickleball in 2020, 6 years ago, and when you're a physician, are your colleagues really your friends?
Yeah.
You might hang out with them, go to dinner, but are you doing that so that they'll refer patients to you? But when I started getting seriously into angling, I developed friendships with other docs that would see me as patients, and they would tell me about their fishing, and so I started developing doctor fishing friends.
Yeah.
And then I started developing patient fishing friends, even though you're not really supposed to have friends as a doctor, but I had, you got to talk, BS about something when they're coming in, they're nervous about their prostate exam, say, hey, so how's the fishing? Like, hey, well, I want to go to Alaska next year. Do you want to go with me? Like, sure. So I had a few of those types things. So right now,
when they ask where to put their pants up, you say
next to mine. So right now, there are certain types of friends. There's certain levels of friendship.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the ultimate friendship. If you were to call somebody and say, I need you to drop everything right now. I need your help, or I need you.
Bring a shovel.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Stop and get a tarp.
Yeah. Sixer, some cigarettes, a lighter, some rope.
So
Yeah.
those friends right now are almost all anglers.
Right on.
And I know but the people that I'm developing, quote, friendships with,
Yeah.
pickleball,
Yeah.
are the ones who also fish.
Yeah. Well, that's fucking sweet.
Yeah. So, you go play pickleball and you say, show me your fish, show me your picture,
Yeah.
And recently, one of my friends, I had no idea. Did you know Croatia has monster trout? Croatia.
Maybe.
I gotta research it, but
Yeah.
my friends,
So he's into going to Croatian trout.
Croatia, Slovenia, he's tried for marble trout, and sometimes it's a matter of, hey, do you wanna go fishing? And some of the people I know, they're fair weather fishermen.
Yeah.
Meaning it's got to be perfect weather. Well, perfect weather for them might not be the perfect angling weather.
Sure.
Cloudy, spitty, rainy, whatever, especially for steelheading.
Yeah.
Crappier the weather, the better the fishing's going to be. So in answer to your question about, yes, angling I've developed some drop everything friends.
That's fucking cool, huh?
Yeah.
On that note, not on the friendship note. Well, first, what do you think of this whiskey?
I haven't had a bad Michter's bottle.
Yeah.
And
what are some of the notes you're getting out of this?
I'm getting a high C. I'm getting some toasted marshmallows,
a little
some
cinnamon
graham cracker, and some baking spice, and not a lot of jet fuel.
Oh,
the higher proofs.
Sure.
And
it should be noted this is 86 proof. Yeah.
Yeah, and in our tastings that we've done, we've kind of figured out that no matter what you're tasting, the first pour or pull is going to seem higher proof than it is.
Yeah.
And there are certain, over 100 might need a couple minutes of ice, might need to just sit around. So, but this is definitely podcast brew.
Nice. So your buddy, that brings up a point. That brings up a point that you're going to catch giant pike in northern Saskatchewan, which I think a lot of people want to do. You're going to go chase taimen in Mongolia, which a lot of people would want to do. You're all over Montana. I mean, recently on the Big Hole, right?
Recently on the Big Hole and the Jefferson, which is kind of named after me, right?
Yeah.
Jefferson.
Yeah.
I've had two.
I didn't say that.
I have had 2 great days in Montana on the Jefferson on 2 widely divergent months.
Yeah. And so over time, fishing all the other big rivers, Clark Fork, Missouri, all those kinds. And I think going back to what you had said initially, there are no secrets. Certainly there's no secret fishing superstar stretches, right?
No.
Yeah. But I would say that 80% of all angling is on those superstar stretches. And within that, there's no secrets.
Right.
Yeah. I know some people who, like, as soon as we said the J word, were like shrieking at the computer, breaking it, all that kind of stuff. Our bad.
Yeah.
But
they're going to call us hot spotters.
Oh, well, I don't know what they're going to call us. You never know. I mean, sometimes you just got to see them at the takeout, and whatever happens, happens.
What happens at the takeout stays at the takeout.
That's right. I mean, it's just, it's just the way it is. It's Montana.
I mean, you've never had a meltdown on the river.
Oh, I've never had one confrontation in my life.
Never.
Not once. Not once.
Never.
Yep. I've never been in a local bar or takeout or put in or on the river where I got low.
Watch his nose. It's growing.
Yeah. And never said one thing.
Yeah.
Not once. So what are like, say, the top 5 bucket list places you're on the hunt for?
In Montana?
No. Well, let's say Montana and then let's go world.
Okay. Montana, I'd really like to explore the Blackfoot Reservation.
Nope. Okay.
Okay.
Shout out to Arlen and the boys on the Blackfoot.
Yeah. Probably need a lot of bear spray for those, adventures.
God, I just saw. Did you see that picture that Tara posted of that, like some farm over on that side of the state where there was like 10 bears in a field?
Yeah. Well, speaking
out there.
speaking of nuisance bears, as far as nuisance grizzlies, rumor is that a lot of nuisance grizzlies get shucked on the reservation.
Well, that's because us Indians like bears.
That's right.
Yeah.
You like apex predators.
Yeah. We like the apex predators. We don't want the sheep. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Bring us all the wolves, all the grizzlies, all the whatever you got. We want them because you know what? That's how the way our heart beats the same as their heart beats. And so
I'd like to chase trout on the res. I'd like to chase carp on the reservation. I'd like to do carp on the Missouri.
okay.
I'd love to try and find some walleye
Oh,
on the Missouri.
I've heard they're there.
And just basically find stretches maybe that I've fished before where I can take my spay rod and, do some two-hand spay fishing for trout.
So your spay rod, is that
It's a trout spay.
so 4-weight, 5-weight, 6-weight?
It's a 4-weight trout spay.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like handles like an 8-weight. You kind of double
But
the
still
number.
like 10 feet long or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's
right?
12 feet long.
12 feet long.
Yeah, just kind of swing for that tug. And I've had a lot of success locally. I'm not going to hotspot them.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. So, but I mean,
It won't be those bears won't be the only thing on hitting your bird feeder. You'll have the bear spray.
see, I mean, the big hole was on my list, and I've just done that. So, I'd like to explore maybe some brook trout areas down near the Yellowstone area.
So I just want to point out, this is a podcast about Montana for Montanans. And so we're just kind of talking interstate, and we're not going to worry about everybody else kind of peering in at what we're doing. And but we are definitely, talking about all of the very cool places that we can go and fish, and
But we are British Columbia adjacent.
but not do it in a way that like harms people or harms their spots or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, God, how far are we from the Elk?
I could get there in 90 minutes if the border agent is nice.
Yeah, I mean, we're 100 miles from the Elk ish.
Oh, I could get there less because it's just past Eureka, but into Fernie would be,
Yeah.
I
mean, Montana's a special place. So where are the 5 places you would go beyond that?
Beyond Montana.
Yeah.
Beyond Montana, you're talking about rivers for trout?
No, I'm talking about what are your top 5 bucket list places around the world
Greenland.
that you might go to that are probably a for sure.
White River, Arkansas for big browns.
Okay.
Greenland.
Is that a spay play there in Greenland?
You can for sure, but it's like there's only one. I mean, it's like there's not much bycatch. It's just Arctic char.
Have you seen that video of that one Velda or Velma or something? Some just like
I've seen a lot of videos of Greenland and Arctic char.
there's a video of a young lady who her daughter makes the video in the video. That's the story.
Yeah.
and her mom is a spay angler whose dad opened. They're from Iceland, I think, but their dad opened a camp in Greenland, and she's out there.
Yeah.
Velda or something like that. Pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I'm sure. Yeah.
It's a. I think it's a. Oh my God! Here we are. I'm already too deep in the toasted Michters. What's the coolers? The famous coolers?
Yetis.
Yeah, it's a Yeti thing. I
Yeah,
think.
Yeti film.
Yeah, you have to watch it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I've done the Skeena for Steelhead, but as far as other venues in Alaska for steelhead are kind of on my bucket list.
Oh,
On the Kenai Peninsula.
yeah. Do you know that one river? The one river that's like 20 miles long. That's super cool steelhead. Somebody will write it in the comments if I open them up.
The Nanilchuk,
I
the
don't know.
glaciated river.
There's a good buddy of mine who lives here in town. He's a guide. I'll have to hook you up with him. He goes there every year. It's 20 miles long, and they just crush. Yeah.
Yeah. And for spay anglers and steelhead, if you catch one on a bobber, it doesn't count. You have to catch it, on the swing.
I hate to say this, but I think they floss them.
No. The floss sockeye, but they're flossing steelhead. Damn.
Oh, there's some dirty motherfuckers out there. I'm just saying. I've never flossed a steelhead, so I don't have to fucking feel bad about things. But some of these guys are dirty motherfuckers.
And sea run browns in southern Argentina.
Terra del Fuego.
Yeah, they're on my bucket list. Now, I mean, I've been invited down to the, Jurassic Lake.
That's
I'm
the big rainbows.
Yeah, I'm not sure I
pretty
want
windy.
to throw, in a 50-mile-an-hour wind.
Yeah.
Even though they are huge, but
Yeah.
it's still kind of a still water. I would rather fish a couple of the rivers that flow in.
I've watched some videos where they're mostly fishing those super fast fucking rivers that maybe is the outlet, and there's giant fucking rainbows in there.
Yeah. And I'd like to walk wade for Golden Dorado in Bolivia sometime.
Oh.
I've done the river, the Paraná.
Yeah.
For with Golden Dorado, but I'd really like to walk wade for him.
There's that one dude and his partner, I think. They're always doing those really cool double haul fucking videos where they're like 20 feet off the bank and they're like hits, 2 strips, and they're on. Those ones?
Tight.
Yeah. All right, so I got a question. We're moving into part 2. 52 minutes.
Oh, geez.
Damn, dude. Damn. Okay. This will go fast though. What do you think is right now? What's your favorite river to fish in Montana?
My favorite river to fish in Montana, I really cannot say.
Then we're gonna move on.
Because my face is within punching distance of your hand
of the river. Yeah, we're just gonna move on.
Yeah.
And what species do you like to chase?
I like cutthroat because I love the take.
Yeah.
I like brown trout for their streamer takes. So native cutthroats and brown trout.
And just to kind of on that line, what techniques do you like to do the best?
I like dry fly for cutthroat. And
when you say dry fly, are we talking tradish dries, purple hazes, that kind of thing? Or are we talking chubbies, beetles?
Beetles, ants, whatever. What I have noticed in the last 10 years, though, it seems that 10 years ago, cutthroat in Montana would take any type of big bug, and you may go into a wilderness area where no one fishes a creek or a river, minimal pressure, and they want tiny bugs.
Yeah. When you say tiny, are we talking how tiny?
I'm talking like little 14 naked ants.
Okay.
12 beetles.
Yeah. Versus a size 10 or 8 chubby or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you had your press, when you are cutthroat fishing, are you gunning a fiberglass of some sort and that kind of thing?
Many people have made fun of my 3-weight glass fiberglass rod.
Oh, probably somebody getting a
7 foot.
Yeah, somebody getting
They're like,
hard
is
right
that
now,
a-
probably.
Like, is that a buggy whip? You know,
Somebody's probably getting a woody. You just
Yeah.
said that.
I've caught managed and caught many large cutthroat with that.
I'm sure. And so, what have you since you've been in Montana? What have you learned about the seasons, and what seasons are you liking, or is it just year round, all good?
Well, if anyone is thinking about visiting Montana from out of state and wants to go fishing here, July and August are the best. They're the best. They're the best.
Actually, if you get on my books, they are the best.
But I like shoulder season around here.
Sure.
And shockingly, I did very well this past winter
Yeah.
on the spay fishing I did. And you and I were out in some boats and rafts
Mm-hmm.
in December, in January, February. It's pretty damn good here.
And don't you love that when they always do that? They're like, "What?" I'm just getting used to these glasses. They're new to me. It's a whatever. So, what would you say are your favorite top 5 dry flies?
Top 5 dry flies.
Yeah.
You can't live in Montana and not say purple haze, but it just works. I think, but as most people would say, it's not necessarily the fly, it's the presentation.
Sure. So
So
I think when I'm talking about, I think you could separate it into traditional dry flies, and maybe you don't fish any traditional dry flies or have any that you like, or clearly there's a lot of the foam flies that still people are the bug.
yeah,
the
the
fish are
mini
eating-
the mini Chernobyl.
Yeah, that fish are eating up top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mini Chernobyl, any black big stimulator type fly.
This is not that kind of show, my friend.
Little. I like fishing double mayflies. A 12 with a 16 trailer, or
Yeah.
a trailing dry fly that's so small you can't see that you have to put it behind a bigger one, and you have to set when the bigger one flinches or goes under. So like in my dry fly box, I've got the mini Chernobyl, I've got tons of beetles, tons of ants. That is it Mary's ant that or Amy's ant?
Annie's? I don't know, to be honest with you. I only know
It's very difficult to find now.
oh,
I think a very sparkly, ant.
the only ants I know that I can name off are Gallup has the ant acid, and then there's the Green River ant, which looks kind of like a chubby that everybody loves. And then, similar to that is like Jake's no sink beetle, that kind of thing.
Right.
But still, these are, in some ways, they're foam bugs that, you can just fish for like super small cricks with cutties
Right.
and all that kind of shit.
And we fish small mayfly flies that are foam, but tiny foam
Yeah.
and segmented.
Yeah.
And any type of spinner that looks like it's been broken.
Yeah. So what about streamers? What's your, you got any streamers that you really love?
Well,
Other
You-
than
you
the,
want me to- you want me-
other
you-
than the
you-
sparkle minnow?
give you the. You want me to give you the fly shop employee? Sparkle Minnow.
The 24-year-old shop rat will immediately put you on the sparkle minnow.
Sparkle. This one works. This one works. I mean, I've done very well up here, and in British Columbia on, the Dalai Lamas, the mini sex dungeons,
Isn't it interesting that and I'm a huge fan of Gallup and I love all his bugs. And I think if you haven't read Gallup's book, you're doing yourself a big disservice. But at the end of the day, that goddamn Dalai Lama just fucking works, doesn't it?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And in the same day, the same conditions, I've caught fish on the white Dalai Lama and the black Dalai Lama.
Yeah. And the Sculpzilla is the same bug, basically. Trailer hook, strip of bunny, trailer hook. Yeah.
And maybe I don't fish it as well, but it's like, oh yeah, Sculpzilla works everywhere. I haven't really found that to be the case in my type of angling.
Yeah.
But
is it because it's green or black or not just that long
I don't know.
black and white with the flash along the side?
I've accidentally caught some bull trout, with them. It was a small, Sculpzilla.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's when I find that almost any streamer on any given day is going to work.
Sure. And just any nymphs? Nymphs? Any nymphs?
Any nymphs?
Any nymphs?
No. Well, how about Prince Nymph?
How about Prince?
Prince.
So, all right, if you had to choose one bug for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Probably an olive mini sex dungeon.
Ooh. Sorry, I'm gonna take a pull right out of the
Okay.
bottle right now. This is he hates this because it's gonna
Yeah.
he's gonna put
Man.
H1N1 on that fucking bottle.
So, what would you fish? One fly forever. You'd probably do a chubby.
It depends. Yeah, but this is not about me.
Okay. Well, actually, like in Vermont.
Yeah. Yeah,
My granddaughters live in Vermont.
Yeah.
Once I was up there for a week one summer, and I fished an olive woolly bugger. I mean, I had multiple ones, but I fished it only an olive woolly bugger for a week.
Yeah.
And I caught hundreds of fish from trout to bass to panfish,
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of the pat answer, woolly bugger,
The way I feel about the woolly bugger is, I had a girlfriend once who had a Honda. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And she
Motorcycle or car?
car, Honda Accord, and she drove it to 300,000 miles,
Mm-hmm.
and she traded it in because she just got bored.
Was it olive?
It was black.
It was black. Wow.
Yeah,
But
but-
she had a black woolly bugger car.
Exactly. But I mean, in theory,
It worked.
It probably could have gone 200 more thousand miles. You know what I mean?
It's the woolly bugger is the Honda Accord of fly fishing.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say this. I hope Gallup doesn't send any fucking mercenaries out for me. But I mean, he says this in his own book that the circus, the peanut envy is just two woolly buggers put together.
Exactly.
Or the sex dungeon is a muddler with a fucking woolly bugger tail, and they're trying to imitate his buddy who did the peanut envy. But, all of that is, but he jazzes it up in a way that makes it maybe more hunt better. But I've got a buddy who all he does is throw buggers, as he calls it. Buggers.
Uh-huh.
And he fucking crushes. Black buggers.
Yeah.
So for sure.
Is it the fly or the retrieve?
I think in that instance it's the fly. I really
Mhm.
do.
Yeah.
And he does so well, and he wouldn't fish anything else. But I think people want a little pizzazz in their bugs.
Right.
And certainly I do. I mean, I like flash, a lot of flash.
Well, I mean, I fish with people. They've got 1,500, 2,000 flies in their boat,
Yeah,
but I bet they only use 10 a year.
sure. That's tale
Yeah,
as old as
yeah.
time.
Like, let me see your streamer box. They've
Yeah.
got multiple streamer boxes,
Yeah.
but they always
Exactly.
pick this one.
Same bug. Because
Same
I
bug.
mean, because at some level, I mean, especially if you're with a guide, they have to produce. And what's their producer?
Right.
You know what I mean? It isn't fucking some esoteric bug that they, bought or friend tied or whatever. I mean, it's what is the fucking bug that's going to put a fucking fish in the boat right now, especially if you hadn't put any fish in the boat.
Right.
And so
The
Well-
2-minute warning fly.
exactly.
So 2-minute warning fly is a woolly bugger or a peanut envy, two woolly
Yeah.
buggers together.
It's a black peanut envy. It's a
Yeah.
black mini dungeon. It's a golden copper crelex. It's a sparkle minnow, that white and yellow, that green and white sparkle minnow. I mean,
or
there's-
is it a foam bug that you have to take a Sharpie to and color it?
maybe it's a chubby that you can skate, or maybe it's a size 10 purple haze. I mean, at the end of the day, there's probably, like you're saying, just a handful of bugs that if you put them you put them on the field,
Yeah.
they're going to produce. It isn't,
Yeah.
it isn't some crazy fucking shit. It isn't, that you're like hoping if you have to produce.
Right.
All right, here we go. At 108, we're moving to Act 3 here. Any nicknames?
My nicknames?
Yeah, what's your nickname? What have people called you in the past?
Chip.
The Golden Thill.
Chip.
Chip.
Chip, because I had chipped teeth.
Oh, really?
Growing up, yeah. Both my front teeth are fake. So, yeah. So, yeah, Chip's the biggest nickname. JT, Jefferson, a-hole, the usual.
There you go. Okay. And number 2 is weed and whiskey, or just weed or whiskey?
People aren't going to believe this. Never smoked pot. Never taken an edible. No desire.
People are like, they're doing
No
that
desire.
that Danish
Yeah.
painting of the scream.
Yeah, the scream. I've been a wine snob. I've been a tequila snob. I've been a, bourbon, whatever.
Favorite tequila?
Fortaleza.
Oh, on the rocks with sweet and sour sauce.
Oh my God. If you ask me one more time to make you a margarita with my Fortaleza. But I was introduced to Fortaleza
Yeah.
in Forks, Washington,
Oh,
at a steelhead lodge. Someone from California brought it
yeah.
and shared it.
Nice.
And and then it became a quest
To find Fortaleza.
Yeah, to find Fortaleza.
And you've been able to find a little bit.
A little bit.
Harder to find that than the bourbons these days?
Oh
or the
my
bourbon?
God, much harder.
Really?
Yeah.
And so you're a little bit of a bourbon junkie, a little bit of a shout out, a little bit of bourbon snob.
Michter's junkie, sure. Yeah.
What are you finding in all this that you're loving?
Just that you're able to sip it during a podcast.
Fucking A, right out of the bottle.
Instead of like coughing, like smooth.
Smooth, right out of the bottle. And so what is your favorite bar in Montana?
My favorite bar. Well, as you know, right now as we're recording this, it's way past my bedtime. I mean, it might be like 8:30 p.m.
Still sunny outside.
So, but my favorite bar that I tell everyone to go to and use the restroom is the blue dog in whitefish.
Bulldog.
Bulldog.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry. That's how much of a bar person I am.
Yeah. Fair enough. And what's your favorite place to eat in Montana?
It's probably a Bruzo's in whitefish.
Oh, fair enough.
Their butterscotch dessert item is the bomb.
And do you have it? Oh, go ahead.
But if you want a pizza, Mama Ev's in the Motel Chalet.
See, people are going to appreciate that. People are going to appreciate that. And do you have any crazy ass stories of when you were on a fishing trip that either you or one of your friends like did some crazy ass shit?
Yes. It was in Fernie, British Columbia, on the Elk, and two of my friends were with a fishing guide from Australia, and every second word that he said was the F-bomb. And he told my friends that his daughter was using silt and mud from the local rivers as a beauty care product.
Yeah.
So during their angling day, he pulled over and they scooped up mud from the river they were fishing and put it on their faces and like had a facial. Now, if that's not bad enough, they actually took pictures of themselves with the mud on their face.
Are these like Florida doctors or some shit?
These were, one was a medical device rep from Nashville, and the other was a North Carolina person that makes T-shirts and drinks too much.
I wasn't there.
We gave them so much crap for that. That was the same trip.
Did it take care of their blackheads and all that shit?
They lost a lot of. They lost their man card over that. But that was the same trip where one of the managers of the fly shop thought she could party with our group.
Oh yeah.
And it has a good ending because she's married now and has a family. But she partied so hard that the entire time we were there, she was in the hospital.
Oh, God.
With diabetic ketoacidosis after partying with us.
Those Canadians can fucking throw down.
Yeah.
They can throw down.
Yeah.
They can throw down.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We're on the final stretch here is all right.
All right.
Well, I was going to ask you about social media, but is there anything about social media that you do not like about fly fishing?
That I do not like about fly fishing?
Yeah. What does social media do to fly fishing that you don't like?
Well, I think a lot of the live bait and gear guys tend to make fun of, fly fishing.
Yeah, do they?
Yeah.
I don't follow any of that shit, so I don't know.
Well,
as they should.
No. Even today, one of my friends, sends me a reel that says, "Hey, I can go fishing for 12 hours straight."
Yeah.
And you can go fishing for 12 hours gay. So
we're going to cut that. We're going to cut that.
So, no, there's less shaming than there used to be.
Yeah.
So there used to be a lot of shaming, like, especially in the steelhead community.
Mm-hmm.
It's like keep them wet. The legal bull trout fishing.
Yeah.
Keep them wet. Don't take them out of the water. Montana has some regulations about taking pictures.
Yeah.
Of bull trout. I mean, yes, you can take a picture, but out of the water, but it wants you to minimize time out of the water. That is the regulation.
Yeah.
But in certain steelhead fisheries, it's like you do not take the fish entirely out of the water.
Sure.
So, I mean, some of that's legitimate shaming.
Sure.
You know, it's like how, you know, because a lot of fish die after they're caught. And the more you handle them, take a picture of them.
Don't tell them the dirty little secret. Yeah, don't do that.
They all live.
Yeah.
So, but I grew up in a state where a lot of people don't understand what do you mean you catch and release?
Yeah.
You know,
That's fair. That's fair.
or a lot of people, you know, you post a picture of peacock bass. Did you eat it?
Yeah. Do they eat it? Can you eat those?
I mean, it's a cichlid. I would never eat a peacock bass that came out of a
Canal.
grocery cart canal.
Posted up at the old Target grocery cart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got you got
just over to the right of the cart right
bass
there.
just ate the BOGO bologna. So the only fish that I will eat is a salmon that's on its death march.
Sure.
But
are they good when they're on their death march? Are they like when they're just
I mean,
there's like one chunk?
I'm talking about Alaska salmon.
Yeah,
you know, any salmon you catch in Alaska, that's their last hurrah.
Sure.
They're coming in. They're gonna die. They're gonna die.
Sure.
So, you know, I used to eat a lot of speckled sea trout for sea tacos in Florida.
Yeah.
But, you know, the population is such that I quit doing it a few years ago.
I think you need to figure out how to, I think with you're a great cook. I know that. And you do some fancy ass shit. You need to figure out.
Favorite fish? Trigger fish.
You need to figure out some shit with the pike. Because I think you really like that.
Oh, I mean,
because they're the best in Montana. They're probably the best eating fish there is. Other than
I'm looking forward. Next week's going to be shore lunches of pike, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you could catch some pike and learn how to get around their Y bone, and then have some fillets because you're not supposed to eat the belly. I think if they're such a certain size, but like
they have to be They call them luncher size.
Yeah,
like a 24 to 30 inch fish is you don't want to eat a 48-inch pike.
Sure. Are we talking metaphorically?
Yes. That's a movie quote. Metaphorically speaking.
So, yeah, I mean, like, I think you figure out how to do pike and all that. And even people do like pike roe, but, you know.
And in the Midwest, in restaurants, they will serve a fish. It's on the menu, and the menu item is walleyed pike.
Yeah.
It's like, is it a walleye?
Oh.
Or is it a pike?
Wow.
Why is it walleyed pike?
That's weird. Weird.
And locally here in Whitefish, you can get wild caught walleye.
So we are now entering our walleye phase in Montana. That is not our huge reservoirs in the east. So
like
there was
Fort Peck.
Yeah, there was a time where Yellowtail Dam or Fort Peck or maybe even Tybor or any of these reservoirs that are over the mountains held walleye, and people fished for them, and I mean just passionately fished for them. Big tournaments and all that kind of stuff.
It's
and
just a perch.
And love to eat them.
It's just a perch.
But when you start to see them in the water around close to Craig on the Mo, you're like, well, fuck. They're moving in.
Yeah.
As is the pike, as is the smallmouth bass. And, you know, we're not going to spend any time talking about, you know, climate change or any of that fucking shit, because it is what it is. And we're just going to have to deal with what we have to deal with. But walleye's on the menu, and pike's on the menu, and bass are on the menu. And I know some people at certain times of the year love to eat them when they are in season.
Yeah. Just like people around here like to eat superior whitefish.
Sure. 100%. I would say, just going back one step, I had a buddy who just caught, in a weird way, he caught a 26-inch rainbow. Okay. And he was in a spot where you can catch 26-inch rainbows, and you can just like let your mind calculate that
A lake.
ish. And he was so scared that it was going to jump out of his hand that he accidentally put his finger up in the gill.
Yeah.
And so there's no way he's ever going to fucking post that fish on the internet because he's scared fucking people are going to fucking roast him for fucking that. You know what I mean? And I think there's a scenario in Montana where we have all harmed fish. I mean, it's a blood sport. I mean, people forget.
I feel horrible when a fish comes to the boat and it's bleeding.
Yeah. I mean,
And at that time, it's like, get it back in. Its only chance is to get back in the water.
yeah. But I mean, there's a certain percentage of fish that you catch that you fucking hit them in the tongue, they're probably going to die.
Yeah.
And they're bleeding. Or you
Yeah.
hit them in the fucking gill, they're definitely going to die. And the best thing you can do is appease your wife, girlfriend, sister, who are always like, you never bring home fucking trout. You're out there 100 days a year and you never bring me home one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Best thing you can do is put that fucker in the cooler, you know? And
I bring you dino nuggets from Costco. What's wrong with the dino nuggets?
come on, baby. You know I love you. I'll bring you some dino nuggets. Okay, so what is the fly fishing hill that you will die on?
The fly fishing hill that I will die on is I would rather fish 10 hours to catch one big fish on a spey rod than catch 10 fish for the day.
Now, I know a little bit about you, and I know that you spent some time up in Terrace, like fishing for
Skeena, on the Skeena River.
Skeena.
Yeah.
And you were up with some people who were doing it in the old-fashioned, very technical way where they're using like very traditional bugs. And these are the guys who would rather...
Because it's an art for them.
Yeah.
It's man yoga.
Yeah. Yeah. They would rather catch one fish.
No, they would rather have a perfect cast.
Yeah. Well, I was going to shit talk them and say they'd rather catch one fish every 10 years.
Right.
Doing it the way that they do it than catch a billion fucking... I mean,
I know a person who fished 12 days straight for steelhead, hooked one fish in 12 days, and absolutely thought it was epic that entire 12 days.
Sure. And probably had a way of doing it that, like, I mean, isn't that I think that's
He can bomb 120-foot casts every day, every swing, every hole.
I mean, isn't that the poles, though? On one hand, you have spey anglers who are willing to go 12 days to catch one fish. And then on the other pole, you have people who are willing to throw a bobber over the side of a boat with a fucking bug 9 feet deep and another bug below that so they can catch fucking 30
They
fish.
can say they caught a trout in Montana.
Yeah, or, well, I mean,
And I'm okay with any of that.
yeah. I mean, and we should talk both of them, right?
Of course.
And yeah, and then we all live somewhere in between, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so,
well, I have friends that think that spinning gear causes cancer and will not throw and will fly fish.
are we talking testicular cancer?
Sure. But I'm a realist. There's like in red fishing, if it's cloudy,
Yeah.
and you can't see them,
Yeah.
you may have to find them with spinning gear before you blind cast them on a fly rod.
Well, I mean, I grew up throwing gear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a big believer that like,
It's part of your repertoire.
exactly. I mean, it's just I think in Montana, there's always these guys who are like, no, I started with a fly rod.
Bullshit.
And I'm just like,
No, you didn't.
then you lost out.
Yeah.
Because the guy who started with a closed face Zebco and a worm and a big red and white bobber when he was 4 on a lake,
Yeah.
you know, that's the kid who went through the progression. And then if the next step was an open face gear rod, or then he threw, you know, lures, you know,
Yeah.
we called them rapalas. I think now they call them rapalas, you know,
Yeah.
you know, rooster tails, blue martins, panther martins, blue foxes, whatever, you know what I mean? And then he moved into fly fishing. You know, I think that I always find out that those are the fucking hunters. Those are the fishiest guys, you know, the guys who started that way because they.
Well, going back to the childhood story, I remember being taken on a fishing trip with the entire family. I'm coming from a family of 5 kids. And my dad left me on the dock while he went out walleye fishing in Minnesota. He left me on the dock with a cane pole, which is, you know, like a big tenkara.
Yeah.
A telescoping pole and a bobber, and gave me some worms and just said, fish off the dock while I'm gone for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was a 50-inch pike, but it seemed that way to an 8-year-old. But it was probably a 24-inch pike. Sure. And I remember it to this day.
Yeah.
Caught it on a freaking cane pole.
That's fucking sick. Well, I mean, that's probably where they were, though. I mean,
yeah,
like,
they're under the dock.
Yeah.
Chasing little panfish.
So what do you think has been the most interesting lesson that you have learned moving to Montana? That you didn't like, what has been like the most interesting lesson? That's the first question.
The most interesting lesson that is the people of Montana, let's say the non-fishing people, the working class people, the contractors, the handyman, the repair people, the, you know, tree whatevers. They are like the Iowans I grew up with. Meaning, if you call them and say, I need you for this, and they say, okay, I'll be there 10 o'clock tomorrow. Usually they'll call you the next day at 9 and say, is it okay if I show up an hour early? So, you know, you've heard of Canada nice. There's kind of Montana nice.
Yeah.
And so people are very genuine here.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very friendly. You know, even the cashiers at the town pump.
Yeah.
You know, if I had people in Florida talk to me like that at a town pump equivalent, you know, I'd be like, you're weird. But these people out here are sincere.
Yeah.
So I like the sincerity of Montana.
What is the one thing about Montana that has surprised you? Like you had a notion about it, but it was totally different.
Totally different.
You thought
probably
we'd be riding horses, living in teepees. The Indians would be like bartering with.
Are they just going to be a bunch of open mouth breathing, you know, knuckle dragging, you know, hicks?
Didn't realize we would be speaking the Queen's English and talking about Joseph Campbell and that kind of shit.
Exactly. But I mean, so in some states are very tribal. Like they know you're not from Montana.
Yeah.
And in some states, they treat you very differently in a negative way because they know you're not native.
Yeah.
And, you know, 5th generations Montanans don't care that you're here. There's like welcome.
Yeah.
You know, where in other states, it's like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
You know, you're not one of us.
Yeah.
So you don't feel, I don't feel like an outsider here.
You know, I'm sure there are people who will say, you know, like, fuck off, you know, don't, you know, you go home, blah, 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 blah. But when you're living it, it's different. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if you're in like my favorite bar, the Driftwood in Cascade, Montana, you know, people are going to just be fucking people, you know? There's no fucking attitude. There's no people fucking shaming you, shit talking you, side eyeing you. I mean, they might side eye you and want to fight you because that's just what we do on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
but
I
not
mean,
because you're fucking from Iowa/Florida, just moved to Montana.
Yeah. I mean, if people ask me, I'm from Iowa, you know, now, who knows? I might be treated differently if I walked around, you know, with a California hat on or a
10-gallon cowboy hat and some fucking pointed boots and
Newport Beach, California shirt.
Yeah.
Or, you know, whatever.
Found out that you like the rice side of the corn check versus the corn side.
Oh, yeah. And the wheat check. Salty nuts that go with it.
Again, we don't do that here.
Yeah. So no, people are very nice in Montana. You know, they don't, as long as you're a good person, you know, they're fine.
All right, last question.
Yes.
What do you think is the most important fly fishing tip you could give somebody if they were coming to Montana?
I would say enjoy the surroundings and treat the fishing as an added bonus. So, I mean, I think there's a saying that, you know, God doesn't put fish in ugly places.
Fuck yeah.
So I'm going to have to deal with that with a 10-year-old granddaughter coming in a few weeks. We're going to go out on a boat, but I need to impress upon her, this is mainly a boating float trip in gorgeous Montana.
Yeah.
And one of the potential benefits is you might catch a fish.
Yeah.
But don't just even, you know, early on in my fly fishing career, I have watched an indicator or a dry fly and not enjoyed the scenery, which is why I like streamer fishing, because you can throw a streamer out once you know it's landed where you wanted. You can look at the scenery while you're stripping in, just waiting for that tub.
Sure. Say, watching that pink bobber, you're like,
yeah. I mean, I've seen pink bobbers in my sleep.
Again, we're not talking metaphorically.
Yeah.
All right, my brother.
All right.
That was a hell of a good talk. All right.
Okay.
Well, we just want to thank you for the Big Horny's Fly Shop. We will put down in the bottom in the comments our website. If you want to come fly fish with us, come fly fish with us. If you have any comments, please leave some. I know if you want to talk some shit.
And don't put too long didn't watch.
Yeah, exactly. Ciao.
Oh, press record.